Hello there and welcome to A Budgeting Mama. My name is Christy, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. On this channel, I do talk about budgeting, I do cash stuffings, sinking funds, and our savings challenges, and more. So in today's video, I'm going to do a little bit of a in-depth overview of how to start using the cash envelope system. So I hope you guys are interested in that, and if you are, keep watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. So let's go ahead and get into today's topic. So we're talking about how to start using the cash envelope system. So I figured the best way to do that is to go to the beginning. I've watched a couple of these videos. A lot of people don't discuss this first important step, which is you have to have a budget. To start the cash envelope system and to be able to do it successfully, you need a budget. So what is a budget? A lot of people look at budget different ways. For me, it took me a minute because I looked at it as like a restriction, when it's actually not that at all. It's really a plan. It's deciding where your money needs to go. It's not bad. You know, it takes away that question of where did all my money go? I know for me, I'm a spender. Like, I will find something to spend money on. And a budget kind of gives you that freedom. It gives you freedom to know what you can spend money on and how much. So for me, I had to really change my mindset and shift the way I looked at what budgeting is. And before you can really accept what a budget can do for your life, you have to have a why. You have to have goals. All of those things go hand in hand in order for you to be successful in your budget. I am left-handed, y'all, so I'm sorry. But yeah, so knowing what your why is and having goals already set before you even start whatever kind of method you want to start to save money or to pay down debt, you have to know your why and you have to be clear on your goals. So I'll share my why. I love my family. I want us to be able to travel. I want my husband to not have to, work jobs that he doesn't like. I don't want to work jobs I don't like. I want to have freedom and flexibility for us to have an amazing life as a family together. In order for that to happen, we have to clear out some debt. We need to save up some money to achieve the goals that we have. So take the time, honestly, I think, to write down your why. You can create a vision board. Put together a visual display of what's going to keep you motivated to keep going. Because if you don't have that motivation and you don't have that good foundation, you're not going to be able to succeed in doing this properly, and it's not going to pay off. You're not going to get the results that you're looking for. All right. So definitely start with your why and your goals, and understand that a budget is there to help you get there. It is not like a restriction. Think of a budget like a diet, right? So if you have a super restricted diet, you're gonna want to cheat. You're gonna smell that hamburger and you're gonna attack it, okay? And all your hard work is gonna go right out the window. But if you have a lifestyle change, right? Making it a part of your life and not looking at it as you're taking away stuff completely. You can't go cold turkey. Then that's where the problem lies. So treat your budget like a diet. Make it a part of a lifestyle. Make it work for you. Okay, so here we go. First step, number 1. Gather all of your bills, your expenses, and your income. Once you have all of those things, you have the basis for your budget. I'm a zero-based budgeter. So after I tally up my income, I subtract my bills and my expenses until I get to 0. As a zero-based budgeter, I give every cent a place. That is what I do with my cash envelopes or my sinking funds. I don't have anything left over. So that takes away my desire to go spending, because I'm like, well, that money's already spoken for. It prevents you from overspending. So once you have your bills, your expenses, and your income, the next thing I think you should do is prioritize those expenses. Once your expenses are prioritized, you should have like a list. Most priorities of expenses are gonna start with, your main bills, your core bills. So like your house payment, or rent, your utilities, gas, food, and then you have everything else. You're gonna have your savings, your debt, all these other things. So you wanna write a list of all that, because this is gonna help you when you're ready to create your envelopes or your categories. So making sure that you are clear with your bills, your expenses, your income, and knowing where your money is already going. Knowing that whole picture can help you when trying to start this system. You already know where your money is going, and then you're able to say, well, this is the things that I want to change. Okay, so once you've done that, you're gonna set your goals for your money. Now, the key here is realistic goals. Let's say you're already spending $500 a month on groceries. You really want to cut that down. That's like one of your goals. Don't set a budget of $100. That's not realistic. It's not going to work. Take it back a little bit at a time. So instead of saying, oh, I'm going to spend $100 less, how about $50 less? So your new budget for your food would be $450 instead of $500. And then over time, you cut back a little bit and a little bit more, and a little bit more. So now that you have a clear picture of where your money's already going and what changes you want to make, you can then start to plan. So when I did this, let me show you guys. I wrote down all my bills, right? This is just an example. So these are not all my bills. Well, these are mainly my bills. I use these printables from the Budget Mom. She has some really great resources in her resource library. I will add her link down below for you guys. But I wrote down all of my bills, all of our subscriptions. As you can see, I've been cutting things out. Okay, I'm like, okay, I gotta get rid of this, and this. Like, we gotta save some money. But really though, once I did this, I was like, we're spending so much money on these things that I didn't even really realize, because it's all in the bank account, right? And you're at the end of the month, I'm just like, dang, like we just got paid. Like where's the money at? I couldn't understand. But once I wrote everything out, I got a clear picture of exactly where all my money was going. All of our money was going. So that is what inspired me to make the changes. It's like, okay, something has got to change. And that's what led me to the cash envelope system. I love this system because it's unique to you. You can tailor it however you need to work for your life, for your lifestyle. I'm in a lot of cash budgeting groups on Facebook, right? And a lot of people are always asking, how do I get started? What envelopes do I need? All of these things. And a lot of them will ask what other people are already doing. And it's good to get a guide, right? So it's fine to have a guide, but you don't want to try to duplicate what someone else is doing, because they don't have your bills, they don't have your debt, they don't have your goals, and they don't have your why. It's not the same. That's why we like the system though. When you do it properly and you tailor it to your life, it will work. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and get into this. So we're talking about planning now. Planning. I love planning. I'm a planner. I have a planner's heart. So for me, it's like, when is payday? And when are my bills due? That is what we need to know. So I'm gonna show you guys my planner. I mentioned this in my very first video that I was reusing my Erin Condren planner from last year because I really didn't use it that much. And I felt bad. Like, my husband bought this for me. It's an expensive planner, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna I can't just throw this in the trash. So I am repurposing it for 2022. So as you can see, you can't even tell what, that it was from last year. I have completely covered that up. But anyway, I just want to show you guys. So I have on here when payday is, and then I have when my bills are due, because I need to know what's coming out of that particular check. And the only way to know that is if I plan properly. So another thing this sheet does is you can put when it's due on here, and on this one as well. So I do like these principles, but you can do this on like a regular notebook with lines, or like on your laptop or your iPad or whatever. You just keep a running list of when your payments are due and when you're getting paid, so you know what bills come out of what paycheck. And if you have like an irregular pay, it's still good to know when things are due so you can plan accordingly. As long as you plan ahead, you'll be able to stick to the plan, stick to the system. Okay, so you've got your plan, you got your goals, you prioritize your expenses, you know exactly what you might be cutting out, you might be reducing some things. Like, for example, like my Netflix, we went from 4 screens to 2 screens. You got a tally of all your debt, you know what you want to tackle. Once you got all of that clear and ready to go, then we can start into our cash envelope system. So what is the cash envelope system? Cash envelopes allow you to track your expenses using cash. But really though, it is just a visual way that you can keep a track of where your money is going, and you can control it a little bit better. It's easy to go to Walmart and just swipe your card and you got all this stuff, and you come home and you're like, oh, what did I spend this month on? So for me, I found that having the clear categories really made a difference in my ability as, like as a mom, as a wife, as myself, to take control of my finances. Like, I feel much more empowered. This system has empowered me to get ahead of the ball. Like, I've always felt like I was behind the 8 ball. I had some crazy financial burdens, issues, whatever in my life. And this is the first time I felt like I know what I'm doing and I see the impact it's making. We have been living paycheck to paycheck for a long time, and this is the first time that we have, like, my husband is like, hey, we need to do we got to get this bill paid, that here you go. Like, we've got the money to do it. It's not like, well, I don't know how that's gonna happen, I don't know how we're gonna make it. Like, we gonna make it. we might be sliding in, but we're gonna make it. But yeah, so tracking your expenses using cash is a visual way of you to take control of your finances. Now, some people are all cash budgeters. I am not. There's all cash, and then you can do this like I told you guys earlier. That's why I like this system. You can do it however you want. For me, I look at our bills. That's why it's important to plan. I say, okay, this is our income, these are the bills that are due, and then I subtract those 2 things, and what I have left is what I use for our cash budget. Some people take all of that money and stuff it into their binders or their envelopes, but I leave our bill money in our account just because it's easier to just let it be drafted out automatically. I don't have to go back to the bank to put money in. Some people prefer to do that. It's all on what you want to do. What's best for you? What's best for us is to leave it in the account. Number one, we are a military family, and our actual home banks are not where we are stationed right now. And we'll probably be moving again this year, so I'm not gonna, go through the hassle of getting another bank right now. But anyway, so yeah, our home bank is not here. So it's easier for us to just leave our bill money in the account, and then I take everything else that's left over out and put it into our cash envelopes. But you can be all cash. You can put all your bill money into a binder, and then when you're ready to pay the bill, go put it into the account so it can be drafted out, or however it works for you. But yeah, so cash budgeting, tracking your expenses. You can be all cash. You don't have to be all cash. And all of this, their categories are going to come from your expenses from earlier. And that's why I say it's important to do your budget and all that stuff first, so you're not jumping in head first and going to have to backtrack later. So looking at once you're done with your budget, you create your categories for spending based on your expenses. Most people want to start with, or I suggest this actually, I suggest you start with areas that you already overspend on first. So for me, that's food. We used to eat out all the time, like all the time, almost every day. It was bad. We were spending, and we're a family of 6, so we automatically spend at least $30 to $40 every time, minimum, whenever we would get some like fast food, or if we were to go out for dinner, minimum $60 for sure. And so I was like, we're wasting so much money doing this. And so I'm not cutting out eating out completely from my budget, but I'm definitely reducing the amount that we're spending. So once my eating out folder envelope is empty, that's it. We're not eating out no more until we get to our next pay period. And it's really made a difference. Like I don't even know how to put into words how much of a difference it has made. Like it really has made a difference. Another question you might have is, what about online purchases? So you can, like I told you guys earlier, you can take the money that you're about to spend and put it back into the bank. Some people use credit cards. Like if you have a credit card with like cash rewards or reward points, and you prefer to use those, you can use those and then use your cash that you've stuffed into your envelopes to pay back your credit card. There's lots of ways that you can go about doing that. Again, it's basically up to you and what's best for you and your budget. For me, I'll just put the money back into my bank account when I need to purchase something within my categories. That's just how I prefer to do it. All right, so I'm going to walk you guys through setting up your actual cash envelopes and what you might want to get to do so. Excuse my table. My daughter usually she sits on my lap when I am working here, and so she just goes to town coloring and doing all kinds of things. Contrary to most belief, you don't need anything really to start this. I know some people want to have all the things, but if you're just starting, most of the times you don't have all the things. You can use stuff like basic envelopes. When I first did this system, this is what I used. I used mailing envelopes, and I just wrote my categories on my envelopes. And that's how I kept up with everything. I put them all together, and yeah, that's how I initially started. I used a basic piece of paper to keep up with my income and expenses, and that's how I rocked it for the first few months. And now when I got back into being more consistent, I wanted to have some nice binders. So I do have some binders here that I use, and you can get these very inexpensively on Amazon, or you can also check your local thrift stores. I got this one, my very first binder, from my local thrift store from Goodwill for like $3. So check there first. You never know what they might have. And I think this one was like $6. They're like $6.99 on Amazon for this plain one. And I think this one's like $10. This one's a little bit different. But I use this one for my cash envelopes because I do carry a diaper bag and I don't want a small wallet in there. And you need some envelopes if you decide to use a binder like this. Just some little envelopes that, these are some regular plastic ones. Let's see if I have one over here somewhere. Here we go. Yeah, these are what they look like. Just plain plastic little zippered pouches with little holes in there for the binder. And I will have all of this linked down below if you guys are interested in purchasing and you need some links. But yeah, so these are my cash envelopes. So cash envelopes would be the things that you spend money on most often, normally probably within the first, like first week. So things like gas, food, groceries, any kind of spending money, things that you need all the time. So that's what I have in my cash envelopes. Next are sinking funds. Sinking funds are things you want to save for in advance. So these would be things like your car repair, house repair, any kind of savings. I have a buffer in mine. I need to build that up, but things that you might be getting within the next 3 to 6 months, or maybe 6 to 12 months, and you need to save up for it. Things that you don't want to, that might cause like a dent if you went out and bought it right now. So those are the kinds of things that you would want to put into your sinking funds. And savings challenges. So there are different kinds of savings challenges. This is the 52-week one. It's just a basic one where you save $1 the first week, $2 the next week, $3, and so on. I've done a $5 challenge. I'm doing a $5 challenge now, if I can find it. Here's a $5 challenge. Every time you get a $5 bill, you put it into your $5 challenge. I'm also doing the $1 challenge. Every time I have a dollar, like after a brick and change, just put it into this jar. So you can do savings challenges to help keep you motivated and having fun while doing this. This is supposed to be enjoyable. It shouldn't be like a burden. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope this inspires you and motivates you to go ahead and get started if you haven't already. And if you have some questions about the system, how it works, how it could work for you, then definitely leave a comment in the comments down below, and I'd love to answer your questions. So I look forward to sharing more of my journey here on my channel. So if you are interested in continuing to be a part of my journey, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.